The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, and J.M.
What are you doing?
Celebrate good times. Come on.
What's there to celebrate? Criminals are going to run rampant in this county now.
Hey. It's Illinois, buddy.
I mean, Valeria Rodriguez's family.
You can pull out all those names that don't matter. I told you. And hey, Mary Cole, thank you for running to give us a choice.
She's a good person. Mary's a good person, and I will go to my grave knowing that she was the better candidate in this one. Voters don't always get it right. They got it wrong on this one.
That and Nikki Haley?
Haley would have had Reagan numbers, but that's another discussion.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
But I'm absolutely convinced these offices, like state's attorney, county treasurer, like Holly Kim, county clerk, like Anthony Vega, these should be nonpartisan offices. There's not a Republican way to be a state's attorney or a Democratic way to be a state's attorney. I mean, like I said many times on this show, Rich Daley was the state's attorney in Cook County for years, and he was tough on crime. And, the only reason Eric Reinhardt, to me, is a gutless coward. He wouldn't come on this podcast. He hid behind the Trump stuff. Basically, he pinned her as MAGA Mary, which was a load of BS. She's anything but MAGA, much to the chagrin of the base of the Republican Party here.
Maybe she should.
No, she outperformed Donald Trump. So no, she shouldn't have. Like 16,000 people. What was the number? She did better than any other Republican here, including Donald Trump. 15,486 people voted for Kamala Harris and Mary Cole. So, and there was no noticeable drop off in Republican areas for Mary. I went through it, and so all the Republicans held on. There was some whining from a couple of crazy pro-lifers and crazy right-wingers, and that clown running as a write-in candidate for Congress. But
Who are you talking about? Severino, my boy?
Yeah, how'd he do? Did he crack 100 votes?
I
He
don't
didn't.
know.
Here's what I do know. He didn't do as well as Jim Karras did. Jim still lost pretty handily, but he didn't get beaten as badly as Joe Severino did. So I stand by my statement that all politics is local, and if you're going to run as a Republican on the
In
North
Illinois,
Shore, if you're going to
oh,
run as a well, hey,
be a
look,
Democrat, be a moderate Democrat.
well, that's not. I still don't buy that. I still think, if people can get their heads out of their ass and look at the candidate instead of party labels and slogans, and we start reading local news and not relying on cable news for our information, and your Facebook page. Well, your Facebook page is okay, but I mean,
Some people don't think so.
well, talk. Here's the test I always ask people: find 10 random people on the street and ask them about national politics, who's running, and they'll all know, oh, yeah, it's Trump versus Harris and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But then ask them, okay, who's your mayor? Who's your state's attorney? Who's your state representative? Who's your alderman? Over half the people will be clueless. Now, I give Lake Forest.
You want your taxes to go up $60 for the forest?
Well, that lost that failed. I mean, that passed,
Yeah.
unfortunately, 2-1, because there was no organized opposition to it, which was a miss by a lot of local Republicans. I think they were scared of that and didn't want to touch it. We touched it.
We should have touched it more.
I think Dick Uihlein should have touched it, is what he should have funded a no campaign on it, because I do think taxes is still a winning issue for the GOP. It unites moderate and conservative Republicans and swing voters, and there are swing voters out there. Let me tell you though, Lake Forest, you can pull up the map, and Lake Forest.
Send me the picture you're talking about.
I'll send it to you. It's on Vega's website, but hear me out here. Lake Forest, Kamala Harris won Lake Forest, all but one precinct. And that precinct, by the way, is right here, Middle Fork. Donald Trump did win Middle Fork by 99 votes.
West Side.
West Side, baby. No, but I mean, but my point here is Lake Forest went for Kamala Harris, but also went for Mary Cole. So people in Lake Forest get it. They can think and say, you know what? The presidential election and the state's attorney election, one has zero to do with the other. So I give credit to people in Lake Forest that they can think this out. And other than the radical extremists like Prue Beidler and who was the guy that switched sides during the mayoral election? Phil LaRucca. He wrote a check. He wrote a check for Eric Reinhardt, and then the Irish guy who supports the Palestinians against the Israelis.
How dare we put their names up for political donations? How dare we?
Mean, those. Other than those people, most people in and that tells you why Prue Beidler lost the mayoral election, by the way. But people in Lake Forest get it. They can think and realize, hey, presidential election, state's attorney election, one has nothing to do with the other. Now you get outside of Lake Forest and Lake Bluff. Oh my gosh, like Vernon Hills. What the hell has happened to Vernon Hills? They used to be a Republican town, or at least a moderate Republican town. But they went lockstep with Reinhardt.
What? I know it's Illinois, and I'm like a doomsayer, but who is running things in Illinois for the Republicans?
Well, you know what? Statewide, let me tell you this. Kathy Salvi, who's from Lake County, maybe we'll get her on a future show. She lives in Mundelein. I give Kathy Salvi credit as state Republican chairman. Trump lost Illinois again, but he lost it by half as much as he did last time. It actually was it was like 55-45, because downstate, it was kind of the Rauner formula downstate, that in the 2014 Rauner formula, where downstate came out in droves for Trump. And so they really worked that. Now, the downside of that is people are like, well, see, he's winning because downstate used to vote Democrat. And that's great for downstate. If you're running, there's no Democratic state legislators downstate anymore. But for all the votes that we've picked up in downstate Illinois, we've lost 2 votes. For every vote we've picked up in downstate Illinois, we've lost about 2 votes up here in the suburbs.
This is about regular Joes, Dems and Does versus elitists.
Well, I mean, if you want to call Lake Forest elitist for voting for Kamala Harris, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think
yeah, I am.
But they voted for Mary. They voted for Jim Karras. I mean, they voted for Randy Tax.
I'm just saying why Trump won, and what people don't understand
Well, I
is
think Trump won for a number of reasons. One, it goes back to what I said on this show a long time ago. I said this election.
I don't even think you get it.
No, I get it. Of course, I get it.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. You think I don't, but I
Don't.
do. Hear me out. Hear me out.
All
It
right.
comes down to the James Carville adage. It's the economy, stupid. People vote economics. Trump won in 16 because of the economy. Trump lost in 2020 because of the economy. Trump won in 2024 because of the economy. It's the economy, stupid. That's
No,
what James
it's
Carville said,
okay.
period.
It's Joe Rogan, stupid. It's
Joe
Dave
Rogan,
Portnoy,
Joe Rogan
stupid.
is mouthing the frustrations of people about the economy. If it wasn't Joe Rogan, if it was some
Males,
other guy,
male votes,
Trump
the
did pretty
bro
well
vote.
amongst suburban white females too, and he did pretty well he did pretty well with minorities too, because the economy sucks, Pete. The
I
economy
get it.
sucks,
Trump did great
and
with
when the economy sucks, the party in power
Latinos in
loses
Michigan. I get it. I
because the
get it.
economy sucks. That's it, plain and simple.
But
And I stand by my statement that Nikki Haley would have won with Reagan-like numbers instead of Trump-like numbers. Reagan won 40 states the first time and 49 the second. And I think if you'd run a moderate Republican there,
so
um,
so we're unhappy with 5 million popular vote win.
is Cal if California gets all counted and he still is ahead in the popular vote, congratulations. But wait, I've seen this before where the Republicans leading in the popular vote and it takes them a while to count everything in California.
Well, there's
And then
20
we end up
million
losing it.
votes that didn't happen for the Dems in 2020. Where
The,
did
the,
that go? They didn't show up, or
it's a combination of not showing up. And again, it's the economy, stupid. There are people who voted for Joe Biden in 2020 that voted for Donald Trump in 2024. I know that's hard for people to
no,
comprehend.
but
Those of
there's
us,
20 million votes that aren't there that were
less
there in
people,
2020.
I think there was less of a burning. I think people were, I think a lot of people said, you know what? Um, it just doesn't matter. Um, and look, if you don't live in a swing state, does your vote really matter? And then there's stuff on the local ballot that matters. But quite honestly, Pete, if I lived in Chicago, now I always vote because I'm one of those people that always votes, even in uncontested elections.
Yes,
But
you are.
if I was the regular Joe and I lived in Chicago and nothing else was on the ballot of any importance to me, I'd probably stay home because what does it matter? You know how the elect you all you got to do is win Illinois by one vote, and you got the electoral votes from Illinois. And it goes the same way in almost every other state other than Maine and Nebraska, which does it by congressional districts. And I'm not sure that's a good idea either, because then you get into gerrymandering issues. But
20 million,
the
that's a big matzo ball.
it's a big, yeah. Well, that's on Biden and Harris because they just couldn't they clearly couldn't live up to what they promised. Joe Biden's presidency was a disaster, and let's be honest with ourselves. I'm glad Kamala Harris will not be president because she would have been even a bigger disaster as president. I
She's
mean,
still
she
working on her
clearly was in and
concession.
over her head. I mean, we I don't know when you're going to post the show, but she hasn't conceded yet. I assume she will. I
I
mean,
think I'm going to post this
Hillary
today.
waited till the next morning. I don't know what happened.
I'm going to put this out today
Trump never
unedited.
conceded the 2020 election. But, so
Well, it was nice to go to that joint in Libertyville.
yeah, no,
Remember
Mary,
that
they're
place?
good people. What?
What was the name of that place we went to?
Main Street Social.
Nice joint.
Yeah,
Nice
it's a
joint.
nice
But they ran out
establishment
of
there.
beer.
Well, I think they weren't used to people going there for just drinks and not a meal and drink, because when you go for dinner, you usually get like one drink, right? But we just sat at the bar, so I think you single-handedly depleted their Miller Lite stock out.
I
So
had to go. I can't drink that Democrat beer from Colorado.
Coors Light, Coors is a Republican. He ran for Senate and as a Republican in Colorado many years ago.
It's made in Colorado, and
Well, but
that's blue beer.
The Coors family is Republican, trust me.
Well, I don't. Do they even own it anymore?
No, I think it got merged with I think it's Miller Coors now. So you drank Miller beer. So what's the difference? It's the same company. It's like people that, oh, I'm going to boycott Bud Light, but then they drink some other Anheuser-Busch product. It's
Yeah, they
the
tried to
same.
give me a Bud Light. I'm like, child,
Well,
please.
Bud Light
Well,
is watered
it,
down
it's rice beer.
animal urine.
Uh, it was nice to see Casey Urlacher.
Yeah, the mayor of Mattawa, is
Uh,
home of the Costco that should have been in Lake Forest. Thanks, Mike Rummel.
the Mary Cole, thank you again for inviting us.
Mary's, like I said, Mary will continue to be a Lake Bluff trustee. I hope she continues to be involved in things because she really is a good person. I don't know anybody that's met her that hasn't liked her. She really, like I said, if there was no party labels attached to this thing, she would have won hands down.
Did you
I
see?
also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did you see Karis? I think I saw Grum. Who else was there that was running?
Oh, I saw Andy Dalkin. I didn't see Ben.
Okay, Andy. Yeah, saw Andy.
And Carla Wyckoff was there.
Carla.
She's a
She
Lake Forest
won.
resident. No, she didn't. Carla lost.
Oh, I'm sorry. Swarthout won for
Oh,
water.
Swarthout one. Yeah, because that district is a little
Yeah.
gerrymandered. I mean, carved. I don't know how they draw these water reclamation districts, but whatever. Congratulations to him. I mean, he goes back. That name is golden here in Lake Forest. So congratulations to him. Keep our water clean and cheap. Don't raise taxes, sir.
Do you want
Um,
to run down all the numbers from yesterday? Just
what do you
where
want to
they're
run down?
well,
Uh, let's see here. I mean, it's going to
Reinhardt
change.
won.
Yeah, so let's again, Anthony, I give him credit. We were all nervous that we had no numbers yet. But the reason, by the way, the reason it took till 8 o'clock, past 8 o'clock to get numbers posted, there was still a line to vote at the Waukegan courthouse polling place. And by law, once you're in line by 7, if you're in line by 7, they have to let you vote. And the line was so long that it took an hour to get everybody through. And by law, you cannot give out election results in a jurisdiction until everybody's voted. So
Well, before you
that's
go on, you brought up Vega. Anthony, next time that there's a contest for the sticker, let me put
some poor little kid is getting all kinds of grief for that sticker. Who
of all the
you
stuff
want
yesterday.
to you
I
want to hear
got
my 2 cents on the stickers?
other than did you get as many comments about it that
I've heard a lot of comments about it, but then people chime in that a kid designed it in a contest. Leave the kid alone. But here's my point. I
well,
think the I voted stickers, no matter how they look, are stupid and a waste of money. Okay. Number one, they cost money. And, I am a fiscal conservative. But number two, why do you need to virtue signal to people that you voted? Okay. If people want to vote, they vote. If they don't want to vote, which is a choice, many people made, 20 million people made it
a bad
yesterday.
choice.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think so. But, sometimes people cast a vote by not voting. And
I'll
I
pay
think
for the stickers. I don't want to pay for the forest.
20 million people, I don't want to pay for either, but 20 million people in the country cast a ballot by not casting a ballot. They basically said, screw you, Harris and Biden. You've really disappointed us. So we're not going to bother to vote. And that's essentially casting a ballot too. So that's why I never want to be making. Some people said we should make voting mandatory, and I disagree with that. I think voting should be a choice, and I think it should be up to each person. And this whole stupid thing with the silly "I voted" sticker is just virtue
All
signaling.
right, give us the numbers.
What do you want? Let me pull up. You get these glasses back on. I'm pulling up Anthony's iPhone app. He's got an Android one too for you Droid users. Election results. Unofficial election results. So it's still unofficial. They still got to count some mail-ins that were postmarked as of yesterday. But you want to start with the presidential?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Lake County. Okay, Lake County, Kamala Harris got 58.85%, and Donald Trump got 39.79%. By my recollection, that's about the same percentage as 2020. Now, the numbers were lower, the actual numbers of votes cast were lower, but percentage-wise about the same. Bobby Kennedy, for what it's worth, got 3,950 votes, which is
He got like a
1.35.
500,000. Why couldn't Trump get those?
So, well, he stayed on the ballot in certain states as a protest, and Illinois was one of them. But um, but again, now this is the map, and again, I'll send you the screenshots. But here's the map of Lake County, precinct by precinct
A lot of blue.
for presidential. Okay, now I'm going to go down to the state's attorney race. Wait, where'd it go? Attorney. So in the state's attorney race, I'll show you, I will talk numbers in a second, but let me just pull up the map. See the difference? Big chunk of red there in the southeast part of the county that is not red in the presidential. That's Lake Forest, Lake Bluff, certain other parts of the county. So y'all can go to Anthony Bega's website and whether you have the iPhone app or not, you can go on the Lake County Clerk website
You're
and
like,
see this
just
yourself.
just
But I'll
tell me,
send you
just tell me the
screenshot.
numbers. I don't want to look. Just tell me.
All right. So Eric Reinhardt, 54.21%. Mary Cole, 45.79%. So she basically outperformed Donald Trump by 6 points, and she did better than any other Republican on the ballot here in Lake County, running countywide. So like Swarthout won his water reclamation district or ward or whatever they call it, and some Republican county board members did win other parts of the county. Unfortunately, Ben Grum lost in Lake Bluff up to Gurnee, but I give Ben props. He ran a good race. Ben's a good guy, a fine member of our Lake Forest Police Department and very active in the Lake Bluff community. I hope we haven't seen the last of Ben. And Andy Dalkin ran a very, very tough
Yeah,
race.
what are the numbers?
Okay, you want the numbers?
Yeah.
Oh, you with the numbers. All right, let's see here. So, well, I got the Kara Schneider. So, well, this is just Lake County. So I don't want to give out just Lake County because it's a whole, there's 3 counties that district goes into. But let's go with Ben's. Swarthout won by 1,100 votes. I'd like to look at that map sometime. But let's see here. Where is the county board? Come on, Anthony. Where is it? President, Congress, state rep. I know it comes as a shock, but Bob Morgan beat Carl Lambrecht. Let's see, Water Reclamation District, County, State's Attorney. Okay, here we go. County Board. So, okay, so Andy Dalkin lost to Parake, 62.24% to 37.76%. But that district is Lake Forest, Highland Park, and Deerfield. Take a look at that map. Now, again, much smaller than the rest of the county. But look, looks like Andy won most of Lake Forest. So again, we're kind of an island here. You got the People's Republic of Highland Park that would vote blue no matter who. I'm convinced if Donald Trump was the Democratic nominee and Kamala Harris was the Republican nominee, running on the exact same issues, Highland Park would vote for Donald Trump. They vote so blindly there in the People's Republic of Highland Park for Democrats that whatever, but I digress.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you want to know Ben's numbers. Okay. Ben Grum. Okay, Ben was a little closer, but not close enough. So okay, so Sandy Hart, 58% of the vote, Ben Grum, 42% of the vote. And precinct-wise, not so good for Ben. That's the map. Looks like Ben won one precinct and tied another. Again, you can go on the website if you want to drill down on that. He won one precinct. Let's see where it was. It had to be in Shields Township. I just don't know where. Probably Lake Bluff. But Sandy Hart's from Lake Bluff too. So hopefully Sandy Hart doesn't raise taxes this term like she did last time, but whatever. Seems to be their and Perez, whatever his name is, he put out a mailer saying he's held the line on taxes, but he voted for tax increases. So
Who
whatever.
needs tax increases when we got all these referendums that everybody's voting for?
Well, again, when you have no organized opposition to it, that's what happens. I'm convinced somebody's got to start, somebody's going to make a lot of money starting a vote no consulting committee where you just go around and defeat all these tax hike referendums and get it. The problem is all these vote yes campaigns, whether it's the school district or the forest preserve, they get money from the companies that do business with them. If you go back and look at the Lake Forest High School referendum, they got donations from Pepper Construction, which is the company doing the work on the has done work construction work at the high school. So of course they're going to give money for it. But nobody gives money. There's no little guy, the little guy, he loses a what did the tax hike cost you? $1,000?
$1,000.
The little guy isn't good. What are you going to give to stop it? Are you going to give $100? Are you going to go to everybody and say, look, your taxes are going to go up $1,000. Give me $100 to run a vote no campaign. It doesn't. There's no organized. That's how these referendums always win, or usually win, is because there's no organized opposition, because the special interests, the pay to, and I call it pay to play, the pay to play special interests give money to the Vote Yes campaign. I'd love to see who gave money to the Vote Yes Forest Preserve campaign. And I bet there's at least one company that does business with Lake County or with the Forest Preserve District. But they give money to this. They should ban this, in my opinion, but good
Tree
luck in this
huggers.
state. Well, it's pay to play. If you can't give, well, I mean, a certain failed mayoral candidate did it last time. She gave money to somebody who coincidentally hired her daughter-in-law, but that had nothing to do with it. But it's pay to play, and it really needs to end. People who do business or get jobs or contracts from somebody should not be giving money. Like the Chicago
Here,
Teachers Union should not be giving money to school board candidates who then vote to approve their contract.
all right. So to sum up the numbers, it looks like it's two-thirds for the Dems, one-third to the good guys, with the exception of 55-45.
Yeah, Mary ran. I don't know what else Mary could do differently. I honestly don't. I think, you hear some grumblings from Republicans. Well, I didn't get much from her. I didn't see her campaign. That's because her campaign was geared towards swing voters and Democrats. And she did get like 16,000. And like I said, I've looked at the precinct numbers preliminary, and I don't see any drop off for her from Trump voters
But
in the
she had a
Republican
decent
area.
amount of she had a good war chest.
She had a good war chest, but Pritzker came in, I think, with some last minute money there, which is what we always feared. I mean, Pritzker is, everybody talks about George Soros giving money to all these liberal prosecutors. I hate to use that word, but in this case, it was Pritzker. I mean, the two people Eric Reinhardt should thank for his victory yesterday are J.B. Pritzker for all the money he gave him, and Donald Trump for all of the ammo he gave him against Mary. I don't know what the Democrats will do here in the area when Donald Trump's gone, because they won't have a boogeyman anymore to use in the elections, but whatever.
When
So
I was
congratulations, President Trump. 45 equals 47, or 47 equals 45. That's the new math. I saw that meme online this morning, but
Kamala, she hasn't conceded yet. Like, what's the
well, Trump hasn't conceded 2020. So what does it matter? I mean, it all started with that Al Gore, George W. Bush election back in
hanging
2000.
Chad?
The hanging chads, and remember Bill Daley coming out in Nashville in the rain saying this race is too close to call. And we really didn't know who won that race for a month till the Supreme Court ruled basically that Bush won, and that was a Republican. It was all the Republican judges voted with Bush, and all the Democratic judges voted with Gore. But it's funny now. Florida ain't a swing state anymore. Ohio ain't a swing state anymore. Because everybody from like Illinois that was somewhat conservative moved to Florida.
I think
But
Pennsylvania won't be anymore because
I, you
that
know,
fracking going.
that's gonna be. I'll tell you what. I said it at the time, and I doubled down on my comments. Now, Kamala Harris made a very tactical error in not picking Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, as her running mate instead of that clown Tim Walz, who did nothing, zero, to
Why
get
did
her
she
any
pick
swing
him?
votes. I
Minnesota was
think
already going to vote blue. So like what?
you'll have to ask her. I don't. I'm befuddled by the.
What are they saying? Why?
What do they say that she had to cement the progressives so she could move to the center? Well, that didn't work out. The progressives all were with her, other than Dearborn, Michigan, where the Muslims stayed home because they were ticked off at supposedly Biden helping Israel. Now, I would argue Biden has been a thorn to Israel, but that's my position. And
So
but whatever.
early voting, that's not so bad, huh?
What do you mean not so bad?
Meaning like I did it. I know.
Well, I give President Trump credit. He finally said, hey, vote early, bank your vote. He stopped spinning all the conspiracy theories and telling everybody to don't vote until election day and stuff because stuff happened. Like we had pouring rain most of the day here on election day. So you and I, we come out no matter what the weather is, but you get some older people, particularly who tend to vote Republican, and they can't get out. It's pouring rain, it's snowing some places in the country and stuff. So I give him credit on that one. I that he did a 180 on that and said, hey, bank your vote early, vote by mail if you need to, whatever you need to do. And I think that helped him a lot. I really do. And I think that helped. I think it helped in Illinois downstate. I think because downstate is a place where it is more difficult to get to polling places. So I give him credit. I give Kathy Salvi credit as state chairman. She ran a very good bank your vote campaign with Republicans this year. So, it doesn't matter how you vote. If you want to vote by mail, if you want to vote early, if you want to wait till election day, but really you should bank the vote because stuff happens before election day, right? And just you don't have to worry about it.
I am excited to see what Elon Musk is going to do for the
Well,
efficiency
he's got
of the
that big,
government.
beautiful rocket that Trump speech.
No, but I just
I saw it and exploded, and I thought, oh no! And then I called Elon, and
I just think,
his
and
aides are like, oh
I
no.
wish I could see some of these governmental workers just like Office Space when he goes in there. So tell me exactly what you do here.
Well, here's the thing. I was telling this to somebody last night. That okay, he's got Musk, who wasn't always with him. He's got Bobby Kennedy Jr., who wasn't always with him. Trump has a history, though, of falling out with his people over time. Like, half the people that worked for him the first term didn't vote for him the second time. But I hope he can set some of his grudges and fighting aside and just do his job because he did do overall a very good job when he was president. The economy, by every number possible, was better until the pandemic hit. And we can all debate the pandemic and who
Yeah,
started
what's the
it.
new disease going to be now? Like, what else can they pull out?
Obviously, they didn't. So the election. You can't say elections are fixed because Trump won. Okay,
No,
so all of that conspiracy theory is out the window, man. Trump lost in 2020, fair and square, and he won in 2024, fair and square. Period.
so what's going to
Okay.
happen with all these people camped out on the corner with their signs from Venezuela?
Well, you notice that kind of died off here because they kept it going through the DNC, but then they realized, hey, don't send them to Illinois because Illinois ain't a swing state. They sent them to Pennsylvania. They sent them to Detroit. They sent them to Philadelphia. They sent them to Detroit. They sent them to, all the swing state cities
So what do you do with
to
these people
really,
now? What do you think?
I don't know. But how do you deport? Here's the thing. They shouldn't have come here. I totally agree.
Hmm?
And we need to do a better job enforcing the border. It was a terrible calculus by the Democrats to go with this open border nonsense and then in an election year pivot back to tough border security. I mean, it was total BS. But I don't know how you can deport that many people. I just don't know. logistically, Pete, how do you pull that off without having like a
You get,
bloodbath? I just don't know. It's unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened. I agree.
I don't know,
But
how did the Democrats get all the Japanese together in the 40s?
the internment camps. I wasn't.
Oh, I
Things were
wasn't
very different.
there either, but I'm just saying.
Okay, I think you were in a different time, and you didn't have people running around with cell phone cameras to record everything. And
Yeah.
I'm convinced, by the way, I'm not saying the Japanese internment camps were the right thing to do. They were a terrible thing. I'm not saying that, but World War II in general, I'm convinced that we would have lost today because there would have been people tweeting pictures of the U.S. bombing cities in Germany and German babies dying in the street or something, and how dare you attack these poor innocent Germans and stuff. Just I just don't, and I'm not to say it was, I'm not, but the whole thing in Palestine today is that's because they made a terrible choice electing Hamas as their leaders, and the Germans in 1930 made a terrible choice electing the Nazis as their leaders. So elections have consequences. So I,
I told you
I just,
Churchill screwed that up.
well, in any event,
Watch Lawrence of Arabia. I'm dead serious.
I got about 12 shows now to watch because the election's over. But yeah,
All
I'll
right.
put it on my
So,
list.
do we talk about Randy winning, Lori Fitzgerald?
Yeah. Well, I got something here.
All right, go.
Brought some props. I've got emailed to me Dr. Tax petition to get on the ballot. And I also have our friend and supporter of the podcast, Michelle Parnell, is running for township trustee on a slate with Jeff Urso's wife. Camellia is running for township supervisor.
Oh, no kidding.
Vanessa Grum is running for township clerk. Michael McNicky, Michael Dunn, they're both in Lake Bluff. Michelle Parnell and
Can
Trent Swarthout, who lives here in Lake Forest. I believe that's Tom's son. Is running for
Michelle is a
township
longtime
trustee.
friend. Michelle is a longtime friend of the show. I think
Yeah.
we need somebody to. I don't even know what the
And
hell.
they're not running as the Republican Party. They're running as the Shields Township Unity Party.
What the
So
hell
I
is?
think they're in. Because I'd like to take the partisan crap out of so many
No,
offices.
what I'm saying is I don't even know what they're running. What is township? What I
Let's get Michelle on to talk about it, or
somebody, because I'm
well,
like, what is
Jeff
Shields Township?
Shields. Okay, so like 200 years ago, when Thomas Jefferson did the Northwest Territories, they
Yeah,
drew these basically square boxes,
yeah,
and those were the townships. Okay, now ours isn't square because of Lake Michigan,
yeah.
but it's basically that. And most of Lake Forest is in Shields Township. However, there are parts that are in West Deerfield Township, which is south. There's parts in Moraine, I believe. The part that those area by Lake Forest Academy that is always complaining about the trains.
I don't need to know
That's
the
Libertyville
wheres. I need
Township. Conway Farms is Vernon Township.
you got counties, townships, all these different
Well, it's
crop
why we have,
centers.
look, with all due respect, look, I'm all for Michelle and her and that team winning. I don't even know if anybody's going to run against them. I don't know the lay of the land here in Shields Township like they
Who
would.
would know to
Like they
run
would.
against it?
Well, somebody does, but because there's contested township elections in a lot of townships in this state.
But like,
But
what decisions? That's what I'm saying. They got to come on.
it's a
Like, what?
very good question. The Chicago Tribune ran a very good article. I think it was last weekend. And we've talked about the number of school districts in Illinois versus other states. Not only does Illinois have the most school districts, Illinois has the most units of local government of any state in the country, including California, including Texas, include all these states that have more people than us. We still have more unit because we got a water reclamation district. God bless Tom Swarthout for being on it. I'm sure they do fine work there. But other states don't have a separate elected district to do that. They have a county water reclamation department or something. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's like Lake Forest does it right with parks. Okay. Other towns, they elect a park district board. Okay. And they have a whole park district staff. We have it as part of the city. Same other towns elect a library board. We have it as part of the city. Okay, so Lake Forest, again, that's why we have the lowest tax rate in Lake County of any municipality, um, does it right. They try to reduce the number of local governments, of fiefdoms, of jobs and stuff. I don't know how many jobs there are at Shields Township. I'm not accusing them of giving out jobs
All
to
right.
friends or anything
So
like some
if
other
they're
places, but
listening, hey,
it's a yeah, let's give a show on.
yeah.
I would love, or one of them on, because I'd like an explanation, and maybe basically my understanding is they take care of Knollwood because Knollwood is unincorporated. Now, the small government part of me says that Knollwood should either become its own city and take care of itself, or should become part of Lake Bluff, or become part of Lake Forest, but not rely on a township and the rest of us to take care of them. I don't know. And again, maybe I'm dead wrong. Come on, tell me that. But I just, again, I'm for less government because I'm a fiscal conservative. So
Shout out to all the election judges, all the people that volunteered.
yeah, good
That
job. It's that. Have you ever been an election judge, Pete?
hell no.
I did it once,
I'd be asking for IDs. That's
I
my
did it
next topic.
once in 1993 because they were so desperate. I knew the guy that was in charge for getting the election judges where I lived, and it was one of those off-year elections, with just the municipal and local stuff. And literally every race on the ballot that year was uncontested. So there's like the whole day we had like five people come and vote. So I had to sit there from like five. You had to get there at like 5 in the morning so the polls could open at 6. And you had to sit there. Fortunately, we got the ballots counted pretty fast, all five of them or whatever it was. We got out of there at like 7:30. But it's tough. And when it's busy, it's really tough. So I give all the credit in the world to election judges out there for doing that. I'll never do it again. I swore I will never be an election judge again. I did it once. And I'm like, thank you,
All
done,
right.
check.
So getting back to the ID, what do we start with? Schneider? Congratulations, Congressman Schneider. Uh,
Now, you
now,
mean you mean now Senate candidate Schneider supposedly?
did he do it yet?
Well, he's got to wait for Durbin to say he's not running, but
Oh, all right.
um, I I'm
Is
going to
that is
bet
it?
you I'm going to bet you a drink at Duffers or the Lantern that if
I'll have
Durbin
Miller Lite.
if Durbin chooses to retire, that Brad Schneider will run for Senate, and then we'll have an open congressional seat there here in the 10th, and we'll see how that all plays out because I still think the numbers are there for a fiscal conservative
All right.
being a liberal Democrat, not a
you're bearing
moderate like
you're
Brad.
bearing the lead on me again.
All right.
What do we do to get this ID thing going? Because there's absolutely no reason not to have it unless you want to fudge things.
I don't see politically how you could get it through in Illinois, right?
I just want to start.
You'd have to have a state law, and as long as JB Pritzker's the governor, forget it.
Okay. But does it
Serious.
start
I
with
agree
Schneider?
with you. It should happen. I totally agree
Okay.
with you. It should happen. Maybe Congress, now that you have it looks like you're going to have a Republican Congress and a Republican president,
And no
maybe they
Senate
can pass a national voter ID law. Maybe that's the way you go on that. I
for
don't know.
for federal elections.
Yeah, I don't know, but that'll be confusing as hell then for when you have a federal election and a state election at the same time, because you're going to say, oh, well, you don't have an ID, so you can't vote for president, but you can vote for state representative or whatever. That'll be confusing as hell.
Okay,
That was
but
like that motor voter law when you could register for federal elections, but not local. That was confusing.
I just want whatever the first level, it's for somebody to tell me no and explain to me.
Well, here's the argument that they give. I don't agree with
Who's
it,
the
but
they? Who does
the
it start?
Democrats. The
No, no, no.
Democrats.
Is it
I'm sure Brad Schneider does not support voter ID. I'm sure if you cornered him, especially now that he's running for Senate where he needs to get votes in Chicago,
but is that the first step to go to? Is Schneider the congressman?
he's your congressman, but don't hold your breath that he would be
I
for it.
no, I'm yes or no.
Well, yeah, anything with federal, your first step is to go to your congressman and
Got it. Okay.
your two U.S. senators who also
Okay.
represent you. But good luck getting Durbin and Duckworth on that. I know Durbin and Duckworth are against it because I've heard them both talk against it.
Okay. So
So
I got to
I
start.
just their argument is that you're discriminating against people.
I get it. I don't care what their
blah blah
argument is.
blah. It's
I just want
BS.
to.
It's BS. I totally agree with you. There should be.
What do I do? Do I just send them a letter? Hey, Or do I
You
need a
send them a letter and it goes in the rectangular file at the under their desk. What? You
well,
really think they read all that stuff?
technically, technically, can you just be objective and say yes or no? Do I
You can
write them
send
a
your
letter?
Congress. You can, yes, or you can send them an email.
Okay.
Good
And
luck.
do you, thanks for the commentary,
Well,
but
you're going to give up. They're going to give you a form letter response. I'm telling you how this works. I know people that work in congressional offices from
I'm
both
sure you
parties.
do. I'm well aware. I just
They
want to
they they
know.
have an intern read those letters and tuck them away.
So then what? A petition?
I think you go find a Republican congressman in Wisconsin
Okay.
or downstate Illinois, like Darren LaHood, who's the closest Republican congressman in Illinois to us, I believe, is Darren LaHood down in Peoria. And you get a bill going to pass that.
Okay.
Because
So
other states have done it. Georgia did it. Georgia did it, and Pepsi, or what was all the companies that boycotted the state of Georgia for like 2 weeks?
you're talking about
Remember Major League Baseball pulled the All-Star game from Atlanta that year because of that law, and then the Braves made the World Series, so they lost one game and got 4 World Series games out of it.
anyways. So I don't know. The betting markets, screw watching CNN or Fox. I just watch the betting markets till they
It's
wouldn't
like
take
sports
anymore.
bet. It's like sports betting now. Nobody watches the sports shows except with the ones that have the bets in them, right? Because
This
everybody's
has
like
been
betting.
follow the money, Joe.
Okay, can I ask you a dumb question?
Yeah.
Where do you bet on election stuff? Is it the same apps that you bet on sports stuff? Like
Can be. The one that I used is sports.betonline.ag.
that AG, is that in this country even?
I have no idea.
Is that
let's
like
see. I'll get my
Angora
money
or
back.
something?
I made some good coin off of that.
Good for
I
you.
should I should have I think $50 would have got me 5 grand if Trump would have won 10% or more.
Oh, if his margin of victory would have been 10.
For
You actually
50,
placed that bet?
yeah, 50.
You're
I also
bullish on
bet
me, man.
I bet that he would win the popular, he would win the
He's
overall.
winning the popular. I'll wait until California is completely counted to say whether he won it or not. But I think the whole popular
He's
vote
up
is
by 5 million. So like
yeah, but there's still like 20 million out in California last I looked. So no, sir.
okay. So
Wait.
the 20
But
million
I want to make
votes,
a point about the popular vote because I hear this bull crap argument all the time. Well, they should just go with the popular vote. Do you know
I
what
didn't
would
say it.
happen? Well, you didn't, but a lot of people do. And I hope he wins the popular vote to put this argument to rest, just like Bush won the popular vote the second time he ran. He lost it the first time to Gore, but he won the popular vote against who was the guy that flies in the jets? John Kerry. But the if you changed it to the popular, that would be like saying, okay, the Cubs had 7 runs and 6 hits in this game, but the Brewers had 6 runs but 10 hits in this game. But you know what? We're going to make it so we go by hits instead of runs. So Brewers win the game instead of the Cubs. You can't you got to first of all you got to change. You can't say, oh, Trump lost the popular vote or Bush lost the popular vote because they ran their campaigns just like the Cubs play a game and all the baseball teams play a game to get the most runs. Now, if you change the rules and say it's popular, then all these campaigns run a totally different campaign strategy. And guess what's going to happen if you do that? You think the cost of elections is expensive now? When you suddenly take states that are not swing states, like California, New York, and Illinois, and Texas, where most of our population is, and Florida, where most of the US population is, the TV ads in Chicago and New York and LA, all the big media markets is going to go through the roof in costs. And rural areas in this country will never see a presidential candidate again. And I don't think that's what we want. I think the founding fathers, it's not a perfect system, but I think it is the best system. It's kind of like what George talked about with democracy and stuff, that it's not the perfect system, but it's the best. I agree. The founding fathers got it right with this because it keeps, look, a state like Pennsylvania, well, Pennsylvania is still a big state, but there's other states that suddenly become swing states and important states that wouldn't get the time of day if we went with a popular vote. So I don't think that's good for the country either. And the notion that we're the only country that does that, I heard somebody on MSNBC say that last night when I was watching them to see how they were crying. Um, that's not true either. Britain does, a lot of countries have parliament elections, and then whoever controls the parliament becomes the prime minister. So
Joe, you brought up People's Republic of Highland Park. They interesting vote
they
passed.
did do something right. I give them credit every once in a
What
while.
am I talking about, Joe?
Well, because the word Democrat or Republican wasn't in the referendum. I don't have the wording in front of me, but our friend and former guest,
Hubler,
um, Hubler, owner
Jeffrey.
of Ravinia Brewing Company, which is, what are they changing their name to in that lawsuit settlement? Do you know?
I don't know. They got the squeegee to them.
Yeah, that's really sucked. But really, what that sucked, but what really sucked was what Nancy Rotering did to him, getting him off the board on that stupid rule, and especially when they basically moved the goalposts on him on it. But and look, Hubler's a Democrat. Let's not make any bones about try to pretend he's a Republican. Jeff is a Democrat. I'm sure he voted for Kamala Harris. He probably voted for Eric Reinhardt. But where's that referendum?
It's toward the bottom.
Yeah, it's always towards the bottom. They do that. You know why they do those? Because they don't want people to notice it.
Yes.
Referendums. City of now this is I'm told this is an advisory referendum actually, so I don't know how much it matters. But
Oh, I missed that.
City of Highland Park allows citizens, including liquor license holders, to serve in city government. That's the summary of it. I don't know what the wording is. 13,375 yes, 2,973 no. So that comes down to percentage
Like
80,
80-20.
82, yeah, 18. So that's, again, it's advisory. So Nancy Rotering and her little fiefdom there didn't run probably an opposition campaign of much, I don't think. But it's, if if you take these partisan labels away and you make people think about what they're voting for and who they're voting for instead of some brand name, the results are a lot different. So I think, if I, not that Nancy Rotering would ever listen to advice from me, but if I was to advise her, I'd say, Nancy, hang it up. You've been in office a long time. Bow out gracefully, don't run again, and call it a day. Thank you for your service. That's why I love Lake Forest with the term limits. So you don't have people permanently in power like her, like Mike Madigan, like Ed Burke, all these other places where you see people that are in office for decades and they completely lose sight of why they got there because of that. I think term limits are a good thing.
All right, Joe, I'm going to just throw this up there. I think.
But yeah, Randy won decisively. I mean, it wasn't even close at the caucus vote. Did we talk about that?
No, we just.
What was the percent now? I've totally forgotten with the general election yesterday. I totally forgot the caucus vote numbers last week.
It was like 80-20.
90. Was it 80-20 or 90-10? I think
80, it's 85-15, something like that.
So Lori Fitzgerald had the most no votes of anybody, but she still won like 80-20, I think, or 79. Lori can correct me, but
Whatever.
she still won pretty easily. And Randy was the second highest no vote, but still very comfortable win. So this whole notion about, Randy not getting slated and, the caucus shouldn't run him.
Blah, blah, blah.
Put to bed. I think, you'd be a fool. People are free to run. I don't ever want to deny somebody's right to run for office. They follow whatever the petition rules are.
You should run.
But hell no. Certainly not against Randy. I'm going to be circulating a petition for Randy. So,
caucus.
But, and I voted for him at the caucus election. But you'd lose because let's be honest, there is no burning issue to vote Randy out on. There's a couple of local grievances here and there on things that I think Randy and the council and the city government have made the right decision in the best interest of the entire city. You have to look, anytime you make a decision, you have to weigh the consequences for a specific area versus the entire city, whether it's cell phone towers, whether it's railroad tracks, whether it's downtown redevelopment. You're always going to get somebody that lives next to something that's really upset. But, it would have been very easy for me living next to Elua Farm to have said, don't let Elua expand. Don't let them do this. And I made it a point to go to that council meeting in support of Elua Farm because it's in the best interest of the city to have what's going on at Elua Farm. And I think it's great for my house, in my opinion. My guy who previously owned this house before me had a different opinion, I'm told, but he was kind of a thorn to them, but whatever. I just, the whole NIMBY, we've talked about that, the not in my backyard, NIMBYism. That's what cost us Costco 20 years ago. That's what cost us millions of dollars in easy revenue for this city. And God bless Casey Earlocker and the people in Mattawa. They get a property tax rebate every year
Unheard
because
of.
of that. Wouldn't that be nice?
Unheard of.
Thank you to the NIMBYs and the mayor at the time, Mr. Rummel, for blowing that one. Total bad move. And that's what NIMBYism does. And that's why I'm glad that this mayor, Randy Tack, and this council and Jason and the staff can look past that and do the right thing.
Let's close out the show, Joe. What do we have to look forward to now? We got to wait for
Hey, can we give a shout out to the Scouts? This weekend,
Scouts.
They are playing Libertyville on Saturday afternoon in the playoffs. Now, they beat them a couple of weeks ago in the regular season, but as expected, Lake Forest clobbered Mather. I felt bad for those CPS schools just don't get the investment in football that they I don't know how it was when you were at Lane Tech, but it ain't good now for CPS with high school football. But and that's really sad. But
doing fine if you can, get by with 20 players.
I mean, they had. I showed
Save
you
on
the
equipment
picture.
costs.
I mean, they could barely if like more than 4 guys got hurt, they'd have to forfeit the game or ask for Lake Forest to loan them a couple players like you did in gym class because it was like. It was sad. I mean, I felt bad for, but props to Lake Forest. They did a great job. And Libertyville will be a test for them, but let's come out. The game is Saturday afternoon. Look up the exact time. You'll hear I think it's in Libertyville actually, though. I'm not sure. I should know
Libertyville.
this.
They're seated higher, and which I feel bad because we didn't get Skoo Walker on.
Well, hey, we beat them couple weeks ago, right? And then people didn't think we could do that. So let's all cheer for our Scouts. Put my hat on for them here. It's hard when you did this mirror. You think you're turning it one way and it's turning the other. All right, so go Scouts and go Skoo. Or I don't know if it's a away game, he ain't calling it, but
well, maybe he'll give us some insight.
I mean, I guess you can watch when there's an away game, when there's a game, either home or away. I guess you can watch it at Chiefs. They have a screen out in the corner there at Chiefs. You can watch it. Though I guess they got that beautiful new scoreboard at the height at Lake Forest. It looks terrific. Thank you to the anonymous donor.
Yeah. Did anybody ever step up and say?
I don't know. If they did, I didn't hear it. But maybe Skoo's got some inside info. Usually when people do there are people in this world, Pete, that actually want to give money to things and not brag about it, like a certain governor or a certain former mayoral candidate. There are people that like to just give money to things without taking credit or try to win an election because of it. But the only negative with the scoreboard I found out is because we went into it was so freaking cold that Mather game, so we were there for the first half, and then we're like, let's just go to the Chiefs for the second half because they were up like 35-0 at that point. So we go to Chiefs and we get there and they got the game on. But the score says 0-0. I'm like, what is going on? The new scoreboard they haven't figured out how to sync it with the
No,
whatever
the streaming service is
streaming.
always behind.
Well, but they've had it right. I'm told they had it right before with the old scoreboard. They had a way of syncing it, and they just need, I guess, in the off season, they need to figure this out.
That
And
streaming,
I
they never get it right. They
really,
don't have a
that's
lot of
news to
money to
me.
do it. NFSB or whatever the thing is called.
It's a shame because back in the day, you had like Comcast, Sportsnet, and all these things that would cover these local games
AM
and
radio,
stuff.
baby, 50,000 watts.
Yeah, it's a shame that we don't have that stuff anymore, but it's just like local news. We don't, there's no local newspapers anymore either.
All right, so everybody be on the lookout for the new hot virus.
Too late, man. They should have done it like about when did early voting start? Like August would have been the perfect time to have that virus hit. So again, I don't think elections are rigged. I really don't. I think everybody wins
This
them fair and
one,
square.
this one was too big to rig. California has 54% of the votes in. That's about 5 or so million for Kamala to say 3.5, 4 for Trump. So you double that up. A little bit in Washington's got to come in. Oregon. Why are they so slow?
Well, I think, is it Oregon? Oregon has no polling places, so everybody votes by mail.
Okay.
And by law, if you do vote by mail, part of the reason it took so long 4 years ago was when you do vote by mail, legally it has to be postmarked. It can be postmarked election day.
Well, it's hard to get them
So
postmarked when everything's
if you
burning.
mail something, if you mail something, yes. Look, imagine you go to the post office yesterday
It's on fire.
and say, I'm mailing this. How long does it take to get there? And this cuts both ways with that vote by mail. Like in the 2000 election with Bush and Gore in Florida, you had a huge military vote. We certainly want our military guys
Absolutely,
overseas
Joe.
voting.
Absolutely.
And Gore was up, but then when the military ballots came in by mail that were postmarked election day, Bush won.
So I bring that up at the end, very end. We're closing out. There's like you said, there's still some stuff coming in, but I think we got a double bubble here, baby.
I give Anthony Vega credit. He ran a smooth election here.
He was on TV, sounded great because he got trained on this
That's
podcast.
right. He worked out the bugs with us.
He's going to work on.
He said he's going to do a show with us at a bar.
Okay,
so I don't know if you want duffers or lantern, but we're going to do it.
Got a good supply of Miller.
He's got to whatever. I don't know what Anthony's drink of choice is, but we'll make sure they have it. We'll buy it for him, but well, we probably can't. It's probably because he's an elected official. It's probably some law against that. But we'll sit there and we'll have a good chat. But I give him if somebody wasn't able to vote yesterday in Lake County, it's on them.
That's right.
You had every way possible you could vote here.
And everybody else with their TDS, good luck with their Xanax prescriptions.
Just please, President Trump, just govern. Just zip the lip. Let J.D. Vance do all the talking. Congratulations to him.
Trump, I think you do whatever you want, dude. Put Elon in there. Find out what
do things. Don't say things. His mouth that gets him in trouble. And don't tweet in the middle of the night. Get some sleep, dude.
Joe, I'll get this out. Everybody, take a nap. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, and J.M.